Alright, gonna try an interesting experiment today. I'm going to try to set up my GoPro and my Osmo Mobile 3 with my iPhone 12 Pro both on the dashboard of my car and use them as dash cams and head out into a snowstorm to see which one does a time lapse better and more stable. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. Okay, you can see with the Osmo on the bottom and the GoPro on the top that driving through town is kind of a disaster. The Osmo is, it's turning. Every time I turn the car, the Osmo tries to stay straight. So I have to manually turn it back. And you can see that the GoPro is tracking just straight ahead. It's acting as a fixed camera. It's just sitting on the dash. Where the Osmo, I'm having to constantly make adjustments over and over and over again. So it ends up being a very erratic film.
A little bit with the Osmo, trying to use it while driving. Every time I turn, it wants to turn. I got to figure out a way to make that stop happening.
Okay, driving down the freeway where it's a nice straight stretch of road, both cameras are tracking the same. It's not any issue. I'm not having to make manual corrections to an extent, just a little bit. But you can see the GoPro is still actually just being much more straight. So the Osmo is really struggling to stay straight. Every time I turn, it wants to turn, and I'm not sure what the deal with that is. I'm going to have to try to find a manual or Google it a little bit. I am going to try now switch into hyperlapse instead of time-lapse, see if that makes any difference. I'm still not real clear on time-lapse and hyperlapse. I know hyperlapse is for a moving subject and a moving camera, and time lapse is for the camera staying stationary. So maybe that'll make a difference. We're going to try it and find out. So here I've got the hyperlapse turned on the Osmo instead of a time lapse, and I think it does a little bit better job, but I'm still having to make some manual corrections. It's not near as bad as it was in time lapse. This is also a pretty straight stretch of road though, and when I turn, you can see that I still have to make a little bit of a manual correction. So it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so in conclusion, I expected the Osmo to be superior. I thought that my iPhone 12 Pro connected to the Osmo Mobile 3 would actually have a much better picture than the GoPro. I thought that the tracking would help, and that I thought it would stabilize the camera, not get any vibration from the car. I was wrong. The GoPro was superior. Just having it sit on the dash, mounted, it was more fluid. I would expect the gimbal to be more fluid, and in the end, the GoPro actually worked better because it didn't move. With the Osmo, I found that I was using my thumb and having to make changes and adjustments to compensate, because every time I would turn, the Osmo would try to turn, and there was no way I couldn't keep it just focused straight and try to just use it as a stabilization. It wasn't going to happen. So in the end, I think the GoPro worked much better as a dash cam. I do think that the hyperlapse on the Osmo worked better than the time lapse, which that makes sense. That's the hyperlapse function is more for filming video while moving, versus the time lapse is for the camera staying still and the subject might be moving, or just recording a scene where things are moving in the background. So the hyperlapse is better, but overall, in conclusion, I would definitely use the GoPro in this application instead of the Osmo. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. We sure appreciate it. Have a great day.